So I'm going to introduce this next act, our final act for the evening. I know this guy pretty well. I've seen him around the convention for the last several years. So ladies and gentlemen, all the way from Staten Island, New York. Any New York City people out here tonight? 2. I can't even get a ride home now. A good friend of ours, a good friend of Vane Havian, and one of the, on the advisory board of the Board of Advisors of the museum. What is all this junk over here? Okay, just pull that back. Pull it back, that way. Get it, yeah, good, back, back. Pull it away, get it, throw it in the ocean. Ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause for Mr. Pete Michaels. Good, can I have a mic that works? Thank you so much, all right. Look at this, I'm making butter. Hey! Now, Mr. Pete Michaels! I want to talk to you guys for a minute about how we all got here, okay? And I don't mean just a convention. I want to tell how we got here. Most of us started this as kids. Round of applause. How many of you people started doing this as a little kid? Little kids, yes. Same thing with me. I started as a little kid. I was fascinated with puppets as a little kid. And I remember sitting at home in my living room watching our Zenith black and white TV set. Remember those bad boys? 150 pounds, made indents in the rugs that are still there to this day. And my mother was old school Italian. As soon as that thing hit the floor, it became furniture. The doily went right across the top of that sucker. But I remember watching TV, and I watched one particular commercial. I was about 5 years old.
No, N-A-S-T-L-A-S, Nestle's makes the very best chocolate.
Mommy! Daddy! I want that! I saw Danny O'Day and lost my mind. I wanted a Danny O'Day. Oh, I wanted that puppet so bad. I couldn't have the real one, of course. So my mom had the Montgomery Ward catalog. Remember that thing? Yeah. Some of you remember used to put that in the outhouse. So we got the Montgomery Ward catalog, and in that catalog, of course, was the Danny O'Day doll. Ooh, Juro, Danny O'Day. Who started with a Juro Danny O'Day? 5 of you. Come on, more than that. I wasn't the only kid on the block to have. And it came with a little instruction booklet, you know, learn to be a ventriloquist, you know, and of course I didn't want to learn. I just wanted the Danny O'Day so I could play with him and impress all my friends. Yeah, I got a Danny O'Day. Then one day in kindergarten, I went to kindergarten. I went to Catholic grammar school. Our Lady of Perpetual Penance. And my teacher was Sister Show No Mercy. So one day it was decided that we were going to do show and tell. Should have brought this thing. Show and tell, and at that show and tell, that's when I decided I was going to bring out my little Danny to show all my classmates. So Dave, can I have my little Danny? All right, here he is. Here's my little Danny. And this is how I brought him to school, in a shopping bag. You tell my mom picked out the shopping bag. I had my little Danny. But I didn't know that they wanted me to perform with my little Danny. I thought I was just going to bring him out and show the kids. Look, me. But no, they wanted me to perform. The kids are yelling, make them talk, take them out. Flop sweat at 5 years old. So I decided, okay, what am I going to do? So I get up in front of the class with my little shopping bag. That was my first mistake, bringing this stupid thing. Should have remarks I got to go, is that Liberace's bag? Shut up. No, it's not. So I decided, okay, I'm going to try to do something with my little Danny. So I started to do a show. This is how it went. The very first show I did in kindergarten. Well, Danny, here we are in front of all our friends in school. How are you today? I'm okay. How are you today? Could you say something for the boys and girls? Sure. The toy taught a basket doll. Thank you, ladies and boys and girls. Do it again? I wish somebody would have took him that day. Well, needless to say, that show didn't go very well. Sister Show No Mercy had me cleaning erasers for the next 3 weeks, and all my friends were calling me Little Danny for the rest of the year, which was really not cool. But some time passed on between then and, maybe 5, 8, 12 years, something like that. And again, I was sitting in my living room watching TV. I love TV, could you tell? I'm watching TV again. It's around 1978. I'm 20 years old. And I see this commercial.
I sit on his knee. Presto, changeo, and now here's me. Hocus pocus, we take her to bed. Magic is fun. We're dead.
Oh, man. I gotta learn ventriloquism again. The right way. Who remembers that commercial? Some of you do, you just don't want to admit it, because it scared me to death. But I did. I wanted to learn ventriloquism really bad, because that was the coolest puppet I've ever seen. And you guys all know Brian Hagelgans? He made a replica of the Fats Dummy, which is incredible. It's like the real thing, and it's really scary, but it's cool. So I went and I studied ventriloquism all over again. I got my Jimmy Nelson records out. Yay, Jimmy Nelson records. And I decided I was going to join the Society of American Ventriloquists. Who remembers the SAV? They're all dying off. What happened? So I got a hold of this guy named Mark Wade. I corresponded with him, and he told me that there was a fellow in Fords, New Jersey, who made professional figures. Sure enough, the guy had an ad in the back of the New Oracle. His name was Alan Seamock. And I figured, this guy, yeah, thank you. Seamock Figures. He was 40 minutes away. I called him up. I said, listen, can I have a figure made? He goes, well, what would you like? I said, well, like a Cheeky Boy, Danny O'Day type of figure, something like that. I said, how long does it normally take to have a figure made? He said, about a year. A year? I wanted it now. Right? Don't we all go through that? I want it now. There was no now. And then I learned to ask another question. You have anything laying around the house that you don't want? That you're looking to get rid of? And he did. He says, I have this head in a vice. It was an unfinished head in a vice. And I went down and I said, well, how long would it take to have this ready as a puppet? He said, about 2 weeks. Come back in 2 weeks. I said, 2 weeks, fine. Now I'm waiting 2 weeks for this puppet to be finished. Anybody know what that feels like? Yeah, 2 weeks. Well, now it's like 20 years. But back then it was 2 weeks. So, I went back 2 weeks later. 2 weeks later, I walk back and I go in the basement workshop. And I look on the shelf, and there he is, my brand new ventriloquist figure! Oh, he was mine. I waited 2 weeks. It was worth the wait. So the weird thing is I didn't have a name for this guy yet, but the funny thing was, in the movie Magic, if you remember, the dummy's name was Fats. I have a cousin who has the exact same name as me, and his nickname as a kid was Fats. My nickname as a kid was Gitch. So I decided, well, we got Fats, I'll name him Gitch. And Gitch comes from Brooklyn. Ain't that right, Gitch? Yeah, Brooklyn, New York. How you doing? Brooklyn, New York. That was cool. I live in Staten Island. It's right over the bridge. I can do this accent. Not a big deal. Cool. So I took Gitch home. I put him in his trunk. Didn't throw him like Danny. And I went home, and I practiced every day. I practiced. In front of the mirror. Every day. I did my labials. I did my sentences. I did everything. The boy bought a basketball. Many men make money. We four fellows. I did all of them. And I finally had it. And then I knew, read in the Oracle there was going to be a convention, a 1980 International Van Haven Museum Convention. I had to go. And they had a contest. They had contest, senior contest, junior contest. And I entered the senior contest. And I was scared to death of this thing. So I went into my room. We drove. First of all, we drove. Alan Seamark and I and Todd Stockman drove all the way from New York City to Fort Mitchell, Kentucky in my unair-conditioned van. 70 miles, and I had a custom van with the shag rugs and the whole 9 yards. 70 miles an hour with the windows open, okay? That's how we got here. And we're sitting in and how many people have driven here? How many people drove like great long, yeah. So we're sitting in the van, and you know, once you're driving late at night on the highway and it's hot and the heat and the humidity, you start getting, once you like the 5th to 8th hour, you know, of a 12-hour trip, you start. I'm like Floppy Danny behind the wheel. At one point, I turned to Alan and I says, you know what we really need right now? He's like, yeah, air conditioning. I said, no, we need some wake-up music, something to wake us up. So I'm flipping through the radio station, and I finally found some wake-up music. As a devil put aside for me, for me, for me. Woke us up. Nothing like, thank you very much for that. Nothing like some Queen at 3:30 in the morning to wake you up. So we got to the drawbridge. We finally got there. We walked inside. I'm looking all around. I'm like, wow, it's brown. Werner was right. But it was cool. But we were so hungry. We were so hungry from a almost 13-hour drive. And we're sitting there, and we're like, we got to get something to eat. Where's a place to get to eat? Everything is closed. They had a restaurant back then that was open 24/7 in the drawbridge. It was called the Cup and Chaucer back then. Who remembers that place? Yeah. So we get in the Cup and Chaucer. We sit down, and we're trying to flag down a waitress. Yeah, Peter. We finally order our food. Now we're waiting for the food. Seven hours later, we got our food. So now comes time for this senior contest thing. And I'm scared to death. I am so frightened. I've never been in front of a bunch of ventriloquists before. But I think I had a routine that was going to work. So I'm practicing in the room, and the contest is like later that night. Alan Seamark had brought a couple of figures with him. One of them looked like a little Desi Arnaz. And I looked at this figure, and I'm like, I'm playing with it, and I got this voice, and oh, Jess, Mr. Mike, it's nice to see you. How you doing? And I'm like, hey, Alan, I got to have this dummy. He's like, you just bought Gitch from me like a month ago. I'd like to see you work with him rather than, I don't want the money for the sale, but try that voice on Gitch. Nah, never going to work. Try the voice. And I'm sitting there in the room with Alan. I said, but Alan, Gitch talks like this from Brooklyn. Hey, how you doing, buddy? What's happening? I'm Gitch from Brooklyn. Yeah. He says, try the voice on Gitch. I said, okay, what have I got to lose? Buenos dias, Mr. Mike. It's nice to see you. How you doing today? Oh, yes. Gitch became a Puerto Rican. Now comes time for the contest. We had rehearsed the whole routine with the Brooklyn accent. Not the Puerto Rican accent. So now I get Gitch, and I'm down at the side of the wings, and I'm waiting for my name to be called. I'm waiting over there, and the great Mark Wade is going to introduce me. I am shivering. But I know Mark Wade is going to do a great job. So here I am waiting for Mark to do my introduction.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to make welcome a young man all the way from Staten Island, New York. He's one of his first shows here. Make him feel welcome, Mr. Pete Michaels.
This is how the routine went that night. Well, Gitch, we finally made it to the 1980 Vent Convention. How you feeling right now? Gitch, what's the problem? I am not talking to you. Gitch, wait a minute. We came all the way down here to Kentucky to do the show. Look, you can drink on that string all you want to, gringo. I am not talking. Well, Gitch, what seems to be the problem? We got an audience out here waiting. I'll tell you what the problem is. I am very angry and distraught. First of all, what? What is my last name? I never gave you a last name. I know. What the hell kind of name is Gitch? They hear that name, they want to start scratching themselves. All right. I just never gave you a last name. Is that okay? No, it's fine. It's okay. I'm still angry. What are you angry about now? I don't like living out of the suitcase. What's wrong with living in a suitcase? Have you ever slept in a suitcase? No. It plays hell on your suits. And speaking of suits, what? What's the matter with this suit? I paid good money for this suit, $100. Boy, are you a sucker. Why? It's got a big hole in the back. And another thing is what? I don't like bottom billing. Well, listen, pal, only the star gets top billing, okay? Star? Yeah. Jew? Yeah. Listen, pal, the only thing you got in common with a star is a pointy head. Now, at this point, I, as we call in show business, went up on my lines. I wrote the stuff, couldn't remember what the next line was. Has that ever happened to anybody? Yeah, wait for the open mic. You'll see what I mean. I didn't know what the next line was. I had no idea. I was lost. Gitch at one point goes, well, we're going to do this ventriloquisting act. What? Ventriloquisting act. That's exactly what happened. Nothing. You're laughing. They didn't. So I said, well, Gitch, why don't you do something for everybody and entertain them? What am I going to do? I don't know. Why don't you sing? I don't sing. Okay. Why don't you tap dance? What are you, a wise guy? I've got it. Don't look at me. I didn't get it to you. Why don't you do a poem? A who? A poem. Poem. Yeah, you come on. Make up a poem here. Okay. Okay. Here you go. There once stood a tree in the shade. The shade. Cheers. That was cut down with a sharp blade, carved from a block by Alan Seanock, is how George truly was made. Very good, Gitch. Thank you so much. That was wonderful, Gitch. Cheers. Do you have another one? Sure, okay. There once was a very good dent who retired when his lip control went. He thought it was tragic when his dummy saw magic without parental consent. Very nice, Gitch. All right. One more, a little frisky, this one. Okay, go right ahead. There once was a fellow named Gitch, right, who helped to make Pete Michaels rich, right, till Michaels got cute and stole Gitch's loot. So he fired the son of the... Whoa, hey, hold it. No. Okay. We're not going to go there. But that was very good. That was the idea, okay? Are you finished being mad at me now? Yes, sir. Okay. You can take your knee out of mothballs. We'll continue the show some other time. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And that was our first contest. Yeah. Now, back then, as we do today, there were critique sheets, of course. And we got to read the critique sheets. And one guy said, you did a very good job. Is he making fun of my accent? No. Another one wrote, please don't grab the dummy's crotch. Did I do that? 18 times. I didn't even know I was doing it. Oh, Joe did it. And they had it on the videotape. Joe did it. felt kind of nice. All right, come on now. So we went back to the room, and I called my parents up, and I got my dad on the phone. Oh, Tata, he's a nice guy. He was a nice guy, yeah. And the first thing he said, well, how did the contest go? I said, well, not too good. He said, did you win? I said, no, I didn't win. He said, well, who won? And I said, some guy named Jeff something or another. Flash in the pan, he'll never make it. You said it. But that's how it all started. Mark, we have enough time for a song? Thank you. So after the convention, we went home. We started doing a lot of club dates and private stuff and things like that. And that's what you do, because when you come to the Van Haven Convention and you leave the Van Haven Convention, you are supercharged and ready to go with a lot of new stuff. Am I right or wrong? Okay, so Gitch and I, I'm going to lose the chair right now. Gitch and I went on to do, look, it's flying, okay. I'm flying. That's more better. There we go. Now you can grab my crotch all you want. No more grabbing of the crotch, I promise, Gitch. I liked it. I know you did, but we're not doing that tonight. Gee, you got taller. Isn't that nice? Yes, I can look at you in the eye. Hello, Mr. Michaels. Yes. All right. So we like to close out with one of the songs that we still do in the act with Gitch. In fact, I just brought Gitch back into the act recently within the last year, and people love him because he's so cute. You got him there. You know his name. Yes. Are you finished? I like it. Okay, all right. So this is a song that Gitch always closes with. We'll close with that tonight for you guys, and here we go. All right. And now the end is near, thank God. And so I face, and what a face, the final curtain. Sing, night rain. I'm going to say it clear. I state my case, of which I am certain. I've lived, Juliet, stop it, a life that's full. Although I traveled each and every highway and more, much more than these. I did it, watch it my way. Regrets like your face, I've had a few, but then again, don't touch my crotch, too few to mention. Sing, I did, you did, shut up, what I had to do, and I saw it through, without exemption. I planned, you planned, that's right, each charted course, you smell like a horse, each careful step along the byway, and more, much more than these. I did it my way. Yes, there were times, what happened to me? The hell with you. I'm sure you know when I did off more than I could chew. But through it all, when there was doubt, what happened? I ate it up, right? And then I spit it out. Oh, jeez. I faced it all, and I stood tall, and did it my way. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Gitch, ladies and gentlemen. All right.